morning, viewers from across the globe. Today is Tuesday, June 16th. Hajiya Amina Abubakar Rabe, wife of the late Major General Rabe Abubakar, is rescued after troops forced her kidnappers to flee. She was shot during the rescue, but she is alive, and Nigeria makes history. Enugu-born Njideka Anguli Akunyili Crosby, daughter of the late Dora Akunyili, creates the first ever official portrait of the Obamas, now hanging in Chicago. Let's dive right in. I am Ojy Okpe, and this is what's trending. Now, before we dive deeper, let's see what you're talking about right now. We've been tracking conversations on X, Facebook, our YouTube live feed, and of course, Leke. And three stories are dominating your timelines this morning. At number one, a blatant assault on democracy. So says ADC presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar, condemning a federal high court ruling ordering INEC to deregister the ADC and four other opposition parties just a day after he named Rotimi Amechi as his running mate. Social media is on fire. Trending at number two, heartbreak from Kwara State. The traditional ruler of Alayinka community, Oba Salman Olatunji Aweda, has died in captivity after kidnappers demanded 21 million naira, 2 motorcycles, 1 jerry can of petrol for his release, while his community desperately negotiated for his freedom. And trending at number three, a deeply disturbing video goes viral from Brazil. A woman dies after instructors at an extreme sport event failed to attach a rope before pushing her off a bridge. Can you imagine that? She fell 40 meters to her death. 3 men have been arrested. Now, here is where you come in. Join the conversation. Use the hashtag What's Trending with Ojy Okpe, or comment on our live feed. And of course, Leke. Tell me, which of these stories matters most to you? Because for the next hour, we're going into everything that has Nigeria and the rest of the world buzzing. But first, Anambra State Governor Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo declares his full support for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's second term, telling Igbo people not to waste their votes in 2027. Let's watch.
I am also here in solidarity with you because today you are endorsing the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria for a second term as Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR. I've come in solidarity because progressives are working together. Progressives are working together. It is time for progressives to unite. Yes, there are challenges. Today is not long speeches for me because we are going to have our own day. APGA will soon be meeting and will make its own statement. And I believe thereafter, progressives all over Nigeria will be coming together under one umbrella to make sure that Bola Ahmed Tinubu continues the great job, the foundational structure that he is laying now for Nigeria. So I join you in solidarity on that, and to also say to Umunne Mundi Igbo, enough of the politics of lamentations. We must now move from the alliance for protests to alliance for progress, alliance partnership for prosperity for ndị Igbo. Ofeke amara mgbe eke nkụ kwa. Kama efi anyị ga-agbafela ọsọ anyị egbubeli ọdụ. We must now unite as ndị Igbo, and we must not waste our votes again. We must not waste our votes again. maka na ụgbọ na-aga aga ụgbọ ndị ọma ụgbọ na-aga aga ụgbọ ndị ọma ụgbọ na-aga aga ụgbọ ndị ọma ụgbọ na-aga aga ụgbọ Tinubu ụgbọ ndị ọma ụgbọ na-aga aga ụgbọ nwefuru ụgbọ ndị ọma ụgbọ na-aga aga ụgbọ ndị ọma. Thank you very much and God bless you all. You'll hear from us very soon. Thank you.
And Anambra State Governor Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo is generating fierce reactions online after publicly endorsing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his second term right there at a grand APC rally in Adeleke, Ebonyi State on Monday. Well, Soludo told the crowd, enough of the politics of lamentations. We must move from alliance of protest to the alliance for progress. Despite the fact that Soludo is not APC, he is APGA. Yet, there he was on an APC stage in Ebonyi State, standing beside APC governors, publicly urging Igbo people to back Tinubu over the NDC's own Peter Obi, a former governor of Anambra State. The backlash has been swift and fierce. Good morning, Rufy on fire. Good morning, Ayo. How are you this morning? Ayomide. Good morning, our favorite Nigerian.
You came with the violence.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I couldn't help it because I mean it was like trending at #1. And you know, the backlash, like I said, has been, you know, fierce. And I'll just take some reactions before I come to you guys here. And this user on X wrote, Charles Soludo should just join the APC and let us rest. Let's see if these words and cajoling will be enough to cover the years of severe hardship under Tinubu and change people's minds. One way to know Tinubu runs an elite government is that all of them are trying to secure their own pot of soup for another 4 years while Nigerians continue to suffer. Then Emeka wrote on X, Oga, there is no need crying over spilt milk. If you like, organize 1,000 rallies to shout progressive working together. Southeast is on a lockdown for Peter Obi, just like the last election. And there is absolutely nothing you people can do about it. The people will decide at the polls come 2027. And you know these reactions are from majority of people in the Southeast because he was addressing the people of the Southeast. And you know, you've heard from Emeka there. Obviously, we know that in 2023, Peter Obi swept the Southeast. I think I'll start with you. Our favorite Niger wife.
Well, what can I say? I think, you know, one turn deserves another, which is that when he was going into his own governorship election for Anambra State earlier this year, President Tinubu endorsed him. And we know, you know, the nature of those relationships when you go to the center seeking support and in return, it's a transaction. So I don't expect anything less from him in that he has to return the favor that he probably feels that he was brought back into office through the support of the President Tinubu administration. However, speaking for Southeast people is a bit of a vast mandate because we've seen time and time again, we see governors from all the various states moving from this party and that party claiming they are representing the people and our people feel this and so forth. But a governor is one person with one vote. Anambra State, even after the Governor Soludo in the last presidential election came out to denounce Peter Obi, he decampaigned him. You remember he wrote that long open letter where he said all manner of unflattering things about Peter Obi, but it didn't move the needle. Peter Obi still swept that presidential election. So the political rhetoric is going to come. It's going to come intensely. The Tinubu administration has made concerted efforts to try and make inroads into the southeast. But unfortunately, some of those are becoming mired with controversy. The Southeast Development Commission, for example, was one of those initiatives that was supposed to make Southeasterners feel included in this administration. But unfortunately, we've seen over the past couple of weeks the inquiries that are being made into how the money that was allocated to that particular commission was spent. They're saying they spent over 150 million naira on an office in Abuja, and there's a lot of controversy. But when it comes down to it, Southeasterners will still come out and vote for their choice. They will vote for the person who they feel represents them. And I don't think any of us here need to preempt that. In 2027, we will see. And the Southeasterners have never been shy to make their voice heard and make their position felt to the rest of the nation. So I'm looking forward to it. And you know, these videos, I love social media because the videos stay on forever. So in January, end of January, we'll see whether this video will age well or whether we'll play it back and say, see.
All right. You were saying you love the videos. I want to translate the song Soludo was singing for Tinubu. Ugbo na aga. It means the vehicle that moves fine. That's the one we're entering.
Please, two things.
Yes.
Two things.
Quickly.
Number one.
Yes.
The day I ever hear Governor Soludo shout, they are marginalizing the Southeast. The day I hear it from his mouth,
Okay.
he must never repeat it. Now, they are not marginalizing the Southeast. They are supporting President Tinubu. The day I hear it from his mouth. Secondly, what he's doing is not anti-party activity now. It's collabo, Abi. It's two-factor authentication.
Collabo.
It's two-factor.
But you know, it's not the first time he's endorsing President Tinubu. But I mean, this is the latest public endorsement.
It's two-factor.
Yes.
So I am happy for him and all of that. But like I said, I must never hear him shout that Southeast is marginalized in anything.
Okay. All right.
That's
all right, Ayo.
All right, okay.
Wait, I want to take this then, you guys. Still on politics. Reactions are trailing the bombshell court ruling that has sent shockwaves through Nigeria's opposition after a federal high court in Abuja ordered INEC to immediately deregister the African Democratic Congress and 4 other opposition parties, the Action People's Party, Action Alliance, Accord Party, and Zenith Labour Party, over their alleged failure to meet required electoral performance thresholds in the 2023 elections. Atiku Abubakar is furious, and he's not hiding it, describing the ruling as a dangerous escalation of authoritarian tactics and a blatant assault on democracy. He pointed to a critical legal issue, stating that the Court of Appeal had already granted a stay of proceedings in this very case on May 22nd, meaning that the Federal High Court was legally restrained from delivering any judgment. Atiku warned that the Tinubu administration appears focused on eliminating opposition ahead of 2027, declaring that Nigeria's democracy was not won cheaply and must not be surrendered cheaply. And you know, the timing of this ruling lands just a day after Atiku Abubakar named Rotimi Amechi as his running mate. The opposition is now speaking in one voice, asking one question: is this justice or is this politics? And I'll read Peter Obi's post on X. He wrote in part, "We must never sacrifice our sacred institutions on the altar of politics. Nations rise when institutions are stronger than individuals. The Federal High Court judgment ordering the deregistration of the ADC and other political parties is just one of those activities that further reduces the common man's trust in our legal systems. It should be reversed. I pledge that we will restore the dignity, independence, and integrity of the judiciary. The common man must have a voice. The business community must be protected from legal uncertainty and intimidation. Justice must be impartial, accessible, and respected by all. To our judges, legal luminaries, senior advocates, and lawyers, this is your moment. Rise, defend the rule of law, take back your country." On the other hand, Ademola Adeleke, the governor of Osun State, now is firing back, describing the Federal High Court ruling that deregistered the Accord Party as an abuse of court process and a direct violation of a subsisting Court of Appeal order. Adeleke pointed out that the Court of Appeal had explicitly stayed proceedings, including the delivery of judgment, yet the lower court proceeded anyway. The governor assured the people of Osun State that the Court of Appeal takes up the matter today, vowing to remain on the ballot and win the governorship. Now I see the opposition now coming together. Yeah. It was refreshing to read Peter Obi's post on X. I mean, even though he decamped from the ADC, he, has put his voice to this story as well. I'd like for you to touch on it. I know that we've discussed it at length, and I know you also wanted to talk about Soludo, but first on this story.
Let me focus on this, since the Soludo matter had been properly addressed by Vimba and Rufai. But let me focus on this matter, and that is, I hope people can go back and watch the interview we had today with Liberos Oshoma, because he made some salient points and also our early analysis. But today, or for this one, let me talk about our institutions and the sacredness of our institutions ahead of the 2027 elections and the three arms of government. Because if you look at it, it almost seems as if the arms of government are working against democratic principles in Nigeria. So this is bigger than one party. And that's why it's good that all the opposition parties are coming out with one loud voice to speak out. Because it is the Accord Party or the ADC today, like Rufai said earlier, it could be the NDC tomorrow. And if this is allowed to fly with regards to using institutions or arms of government, then we will have a big problem on our hands. We've been talking about state capture since the election started. But let me tell you how these different institutions and arms of government have been criticized on the road to 2027. Number one is that the judiciary has come under fire a number of times with what has been termed, even by Waziri Atiku Abubakar lately, in the latest one, as judicial rascality. We have seen judgments and counter-judgments that counteract from the same temple of justice at different hierarchies of courts. That is a big problem. And how do we then trust the process when it comes to election matter litigations or disputes in election matters ahead of 2027? The justice system in Nigeria, as the name implies, must not be seen to be unfair or to favor the interests of a particular party or individual. It is important for a democratic institution in Nigeria and the electoral process. The legislature has come under fire with the Election Amendment Act and some provisions of the law that didn't quite sit well with Nigerians and opposition parties, because again, it was seen to favor a particular party or certain individuals. The body responsible for elections, INEC, has come under fire because again, there have been issues that have been left unresolved about the chief umpire himself and the conduct of INEC throughout this process. Case in point, like I keep bringing up, is this early election and electioneering. Just walk around Lagos. You will see posters upon posters of the ruling party saying, oh, they are just congratulating, but clearly campaigning, which is in clear violation of INEC rules, and nothing is being done. And so this is not just a fight for a particular party or just another judicial ruling. It is a fight for true democracy and the respect of the principles of true democracy in Nigeria. Liberals gave a very important example or illustration. Using the AD registration in 1998 towards the 1999 elections, that they didn't meet the threshold of the party being registered, but in wisdom and in respect for the feeling, reading the room, understanding how delicate it was at the time to deregister a party from the Southwest region, the military government at the time chose not to. And I have said that it is sad that we have to be comparing actions that were taken under military administration that was more democratic than under a civilian administration. It is shameful. It is disgraceful. And I hope that we will not be talking about this again. What we are speaking for is not for any party. We are speaking for democracy.
And as we celebrated 27 years of uninterrupted democratic rule, we must continue to speak up for institutions that must uphold democratic tenets in Nigeria. That is what the people are asking for. It's not by any party. It's about ensuring that Nigeria remains a true democracy in every sense of the word. And all institutions must align. That's what we're fighting for.
Thank you, Ayo, for your submission. Our president. Well, all right. And reactions are trailing one of the most significant security developments of the week. Hajiya Amina Abubakar, wife of the late Major General Rabe Abubakar, was rescued on Monday alive by troops of Operation Fasan Yama in collaboration with the Nigerian Air Force weeks after the couple were abducted by bandits. Terrorists in Katsina State. Director of Defense Information, Major General Samila Uba, confirmed that terrorists shot Hajiya Amina before fleeing the scene, with the military immediately rushing to a military medical facility for treatment. The armed forces have pledged all necessary support for her recovery. Meanwhile, a delegation from Defense Headquarters and the Katsina State government paid a condolence visit to the family of the late general, assuring them that security agencies will stop at nothing to bring those responsible to justice. I'd like to thank our security forces for the rescue and for supporting the Abubakar family. But this is just coming a day after we asked in our special report, who would rescue her? Nigeria's military has answered. Hajiya Amina is out of the forest, wounded but alive. She now faces recovery, not just from a gunshot wound, but from the grief of losing her husband in that same forest. The military deserves credit for this rescue, and Nigeria prays for her full recovery. But the question our special report raised remains: how was the general's body recovered and buried within 24 hours while his wife took weeks to rescue? That question still deserves an answer. Come to you, Rufai.
Okay, kudos to our military, number one. Yeah, they were able to do the rescue.
Yes.
So two things. I think Hajiya should be kept in custody where nothing must happen to Hajiya, because Hajiya has the key to unlock many things. Number one, Hajiya should be able to tell us what led to the death of her husband. I think by now, trauma and counseling experts should be with Hajiya, and testimonies should also be taken when she can speak. Because in case of trauma, people also lose recollection before she starts to lose recollection. So once she's been put in a place where she can speak and treatment administered, we should take that. Thirdly, Hajiya should be able to give evidence as regards what's transpired, location, times, and things like that. Because Hajiya holds the ace to unlocking those doors. And we should now in turn have the forces go after those people. Another point I would like to make is the Katsina State government. How with the Katsina State government, how are they going to be accountable for their role in quickly burying this man? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, apart from religious injunction to quickly bury, but I think it's only decent for his wife to also have been present there when they were giving him his final days on earth and his burial. Because there was another case too I followed. Because there was another case too I followed, the case of Reverend Archie. He's not been buried until the wife got out and she got better. She has to be faced with burying her husband. Another point I would like to make is I understand religious, and please don't get me wrong, I understand religious inclinations. But this is a national case. And for at least a level of certainty, We would like to be able to have a coroner's investigation into what led to the death of General Rabe. As sad as it might be, but Nigerians deserve to have that. Because we must be able to get to the end of the matter and know what truly transpired. Another point I would like to make is, can we please beg, in the interest of national trust, that every process in this investigation should be revealed to the Nigerian people?
Yes, that's
See,
what we need.
we are not here to deceive ourselves and lie. You know, because let me tell you this thing. There are many lies government has told us that we're tired of. It's not the same government that denied a coup and months after finally told that there was a coup. You see, when you say the people and the media does not support your fight against insecurity, it's because you've lied to people too much. There are too many lies in this country. And we are fed up of those lies. And I do not know the spin doctors that lie to government to tell us that by lying to the people, we make them respect you even more. It is time we please bring anything we found out in this investigation. Let it be there for the Nigerian people. And I'm saying this for the security authorities. Because you will want our trust at some point, but you can't get it by lying to us. And please don't come with that narrative of, oh, sensitive national security issues. No. It was sensitive enough when we saw a video of our valiant general be subjected to that level of torture in the hands of some criminal ragtag elements. That has disturbed our mental health enough. Come clean with us.
All right. We're glad for the safe release of Hajiya. And again, may our general, may his soul rest in peace. Now, 3 devastating developments on kidnapping this morning. In Kwara State, a community is in mourning after the death of Oba Salman Olatunji Aweda, the traditional ruler of a Lainka community in captivity. His family met every demand: 21 million naira, 2 motorcycles, and a jerrycan of petrol. Yet he was never released, and his remains have not yet been located. Meanwhile, in Ondo State, the Bale of Ode Oriya community in Owo, Adeleke, has been abducted from his home by 6 armed men on Saturday morning. His wife shot in her right hand during the raid, and police launched a full-scale rescue operation. He's still in captivity. And then we have a deeply troubling viral video of a young girl who has now described life inside a terrorist camp, revealing widespread sexual violence against women and girls in captivity. Let's take a look.
Mun ka tece an kai mu cikin bukka a buge mu amma dai ana ba mu abinci amma a buge mu a muna walakanci kala-kala. An sun dai aza miliyan 10 ban sani bai da an ka karshe an dai hikai da.
This is heartbreaking. A monarch dead in captivity. A ransom paid but no release. Another king snatched from his own home. And a survivor describing the unimaginable horrors of a terrorist den. This morning, Nigeria must reckon with the full human cost of this insecurity crisis. Because beyond the statistics, these are people's lives shattered, one kidnapping at a time. I mean, the monarch, may his soul rest in peace. This was unnecessary. Your thoughts?
Gosh, you know, it's daily, isn't it? It comes at you on a daily basis. It's devastating. And the helplessness nature of the situation is what continues to drive people to agree to negotiate. So you see families and communities running around to look for whatever their requests have been made of the terrorists to try and meet them, because they almost feel that that is their only option. And the unfortunate thing is it's also coming on the back of a trust deficit with the state institutions as well, because in so many of these releases, we're not seeing any consequences meted towards the perpetrators. So in the case of the Major General Abubakar, for example, they said, oh, they shot at them and they ran away. We have a number of other cases where we continue to ask, well, where are the arrests? So who are these people, and why is it that they seem to always escape? And that's why, for me, I always bring out the map. When I hear these stories, I always just look at the map of Nigeria and I say, we've known for decades that the mission of these terrorists, of these insurgents, has always been to move to the coast. That has always been the mission. And now we are seeing, you read out Kwara, you read out Ondo. There's also Oyo, which is outstanding. In Ogun State, we're hearing of drug busts, massive drug busts. So you see that this is virtually at the coast. And what have we done to prevent it? We have a fire brigade approach in all of this. Now, as to the lady who has such trauma that she can't even use the words, they raped me. She says they had sex with me, just to show that she doesn't have a full grasp of how violated she was. And is she getting psychological support? Most likely not. How many thousands of young women, even elderly women, are just, their families gather what they can to bring them out of captivity, and they just forced back into the harsh realities of daily life, and we're not providing support. So we have a traumatized generation that is emerging from this crisis. So we always talk about unintended consequences. We know the immediate consequences are that we're not safe. But are we thinking about what this will look like in 10 years, 15 years, when you have a whole generation of those who were impacted by this insecurity, by these atrocities, those who escaped indoctrination, and how that's going to impact the fabric of our nation tomorrow? It's a very scary reality. But unfortunately, when you talk about sort of psychological impacts, people think you're speaking English, and it's you can't blame them for that,
when
because
talk rubbish.
But you also can't blame them for that, because the very urgent need right now is for us to just be physically safe before we can even think about our psychological safety. But it is very terrifying. Like I said, in 10 years, what this is going to look like, it's going to shape entire communities. Yes. What are the interventions?
These are the questions. There's more on insecurity, but I know you want to touch on
just very quickly on trauma. Because sometimes rescuing them and not dealing with their psychological needs is as good as not rescuing them at all. Some of them would rather not even be alive. I heard a story over this weekend, and the reason why, Ojy, it's important to tell these stories is that we cannot afford to be desensitized to what is going on. We cannot afford to get used to news like this and just think, oh, sorry, oh, so bad. A story was said of a girl, a true story, of a lady, an NYSC corper in captivity. Ransom was asked. Her father sold stuff to try and make up money to pay. When he said, okay, let him speak to the daughter before paying, she said her father shouldn't bother paying ransom, because if she comes out, she will kill herself because of what she had to go through in the hands of the terrorists. And so she was, they killed her when she mentioned that. But I'm trying to say that these are the real stories of people. So it doesn't just end with the celebration of a release. Like Vimbai mentioned, it is what we face years and years after, and Nigeria cannot afford to turn a blind eye or sweep it under the carpet as we are wont to do many issues. We don't like to talk about these very sensitive things. It's not in our culture. But the truth is that we do these people a disservice if we don't acknowledge the trauma that they face in captivity and understand that every single day that these people are held is a day more for them to continue in this horrid behavior. Today is the day of the African child. But guess what? We have children who have spent 1 month and a few days in captivity. I don't want to imagine, and I'm praying that they are safe and nothing has happened to them. But every single day that they remain in captivity, we don't know what is going on. And that's why we must keep on speaking up about this.
Yes, I mean, we must keep on speaking. And, that's what we're doing on this table.
Absolutely.
I'd like to now highlight, a series of significant security developments across Nigeria this morning. Starting in Sokoto State, where armed bandits have reportedly imposed levies on at least 26 communities in Sabon, Benin local government area. Locals say criminals have warned them not to go to their farms unless the levies are paid within 3 days, threatening to kill or kidnap anyone found farming during this period. This comes as Nigerian troops have killed suspected terrorist Kachala Ibrahim Batijo and dismantled parts of his network in a coordinated operation in Kogi State. In Ogun State, troops of the Nigerian Army working alongside the DSS, NSCDC, and immigration arrested 46 suspected illegal immigrants comprising nationals of Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, Togo, and Senegal, all found to have been residing in the state for approximately 6 months without valid documentation. And in Abuja, Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, declared the judicial system will fight with its blood as the federal government commenced mass trials of over 500 suspected terrorists at the Federal High Court. Let's take a look.
The message is that let everybody know that terrorism in whatever form, shape, will not be tolerated, will not be condoned, and will fight with every inch of our blood to ensure that we make Nigeria a safe haven for everybody.
All right, now we have 4 security developments that I just reeled out. One picture. Nigeria is fighting on multiple fronts. But here is the contradiction that Nigerians online cannot ignore. As Abuja prosecutes 500 terrorists in court, individual states are simultaneously forgiving, reintegrating repentant terrorists. And in Sokoto State, communities preparing for the rainy season, farming, are being extorted by the very terrorists the state has yet to confront. I mean, these are the issues that we're facing in Nigeria. Your thoughts, really?
So the question is, what's even the state policy on terrorists? Because if you have a state policy on terrorists, the federal government say, we're going to fight with tooth and nail, we're going to fight with them with our blood. Some have been persecuted, all right? The water incident, some have been taken to court. We commend them for that. But in the same fell swoop, you have somebody like the governor of Borno State come out and say they are repentant terrorists. I'm sorry, a terrorist can't be repentant. I'm sorry. A terrorist, okay, let me qualify. To me, a terrorist can't be repentant.
Can I tell you some of the argument from the military?
Good.
Because I did speak with the defense
Give it
chief.
to me.
And he said that Nigeria is not rewarding terrorists. That these terrorists, bandits, or whatever we call them, were some of the young children in communities that were kidnapped, and they were not, aligned with the terrorist organization. They did not know whether, what they were doing. And, they had no choice but to follow them because they were held hostage. So these are the people who, some of them escaped, and some of them, decided that, they want to give up their arms. I don't know what your thoughts are on that argument.
So let me give you my rebuttal.
Yes.
So what's it called as regards that is the fact that, yes, you have cases like that.
Yes.
Like you were talking about the case, some people that didn't even know about it, you separate them. It's not a case of, being repentant, as it were.
Yeah.
But when you say repentant terrorists, core terrorists that took part in the actions, if they took their guns and they killed people, I don't think they can repent, because it takes a psychological positioning for you to be able to do that.
That's my question. How do they know whether these ones are the ones that killed or they're not the ones that killed?
Ojy,
he clearly said that the ones that killed are being tried and persecuted.
Ojy,
and the ones that did not kill are not being tried. I mean, I'm not holding brief for anyone. I'm just giving you
when one of them,
the comments. Yes.
The military officer was on TV, I asked him a trick question that he failed. I said, what's the follow-up mechanism when you reintegrate them in society? They don't have any follow-up mechanism. It makes it even more... So you see, this attempt is not well planned. As regards this repentant terrorism, I just think it's because of the funneling of the funds that are involved for this rehabilitation that a lot of people are excited about. You can't have it. Do you know the state of mind for you to pick up a gun and kill somebody?
I want to talk about the levies in Sokoto.
And
that
also,
for me is...
You have the levies in Sokoto. Okay, you're talking about Sokoto.
Yes.
The farmers, it is so sad that they dare not pay that levy. Because do you know the effect of not paying that? You saw what happened to the farmers in Zabamari many years ago. So when people have consistently led a life of crime and they have killed people, they have destroyed people, and you tell me they're repentant, a government that's supposed to be a sovereign government of our country,
yes,
is this not multiple taxation? You pay levies to farmers, then you pay taxation. Normal taxation to government.
Right.
So you are paying multiple taxation in two fronts to two different governments. Government of bandits and terrorists and another government.
Right.
The question I want to ask you, as regards even those that they are making a case for, that they are saying they are repentant, they're giving us a... Ojy, what if they were killed in the crossfire?
The ones that were killed?
No, those that they are releasing, that they are saying, oh, they didn't know, but they carried guns. And what if they were killed in the crossfire?
Yeah, faith. Horrible.
That would be fake.
Yes.
So if there's a possibility of them being killed in the crossfire, and you're telling me they are repentant, because we have also seen the reintegration into society not worked a great deal. Because if you're having a reintegration program, that should lead to stemming the tide of this insecurity. But Ojy, a child that was born when Mohammed Yusuf was killed and this insecurity started, is already well on his way to university. A generation has been accustomed to insecurity. Ojy, the very first time I used to hear major insecurity issues, I'm going to tell you this story because it freaks me out. I remember when I used to hear bomb blasts in Kandahar, in Afghanistan and everything. I remember saying that, oh, this can never come to Nigeria, and this is away in Afghanistan. But it's already here.
All right.
So it's now become part of your mental and social conditioning. They've destroyed our mental health, all of our mental health.
All right.
They've destroyed our lives and livelihoods.
All right.
All right? And you now say in one fell swoop, look at that lady that was raped consistently for 20 days.
Terrible.
You now say in one fell swoop, you want to readjust and put people like that in society. They themselves have not even healed
All right.
of their own trauma. So I don't believe that you can reintegrate. And I don't believe that a terrorist that has killed people, that has tasted blood,
absolutely
can be repentant. I'm sorry.
Unforgivable. I mean, if the Nigerian army is saying that they do not reintegrate killers...
Sorry.
Wait.
Is that Operation Safe Corridor too?
Yes.
Corridor.
Is there money involved?
Well, let's just wrap up this conversation. I mean, those are some of the...
There was a grant that came from the EU.
Those are some of the questions.
That's
right?
what they are all concerned
If the
about.
Nigerian army is saying that they do not reintegrate or rehabilitate killers, that's what they have said. Now, there is kudos goes to the Nigerian army for killing that Kachala.
Yeah.
Then also, there was also
the
the rescue operation of, those... kidnapped victims. But my issue is Sokoto state government. They need to tackle that, terrorism levy fee.
Yeah.
There's also the conversation around, of course, the fact that Lateef Fagbemi has said that, 500 terrorists are now being persecuted. So that's a big win for Nigeria at large.
No, 720.
720 reintegrated, 500 are now facing charges. I mean, 500 facing charges, for me, it's a relief. 500 is a huge number. It's a huge number.
Just some takeaways from that. If you look at the stories, it's those who are aiding and abetting in the community. So those who are facilitating for the transfer of money. Because we know that the terrorists can't exist in a bubble. They have to buy provisions. They have to, so they're dismantling that ecosystem. And yes, we want the masterminds, but it's good to also send the message to the communities that if you use your POS to help transfer money to Boko Haram, you will be arrested.
You will be arrested. They should be arrested. And you know the story about these people from Cote d'Ivoire, all of those surrounding West African countries. It's good that they caught them, I believe, in your state, was it? Yes, they have.
It's
all right. But I'm happy about that. I am really happy about that.
Yeah, it's easy for us to say that it's good that they caught them now.
Yes.
But we are also blaming South Africa the way they are treating illegal migrants. So what is good? You see us?
It's good
that they call. Wait.
Are you sure?
Ojy. I want to argue about this.
Okay,
please,
go
with
ahead.
due respect. What is good? What is sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander.
No.
If they caught, Ayo, now you two are doing xenophobia one way or the other. If you caught illegal migrants that are West African people, process them, ECOWAS, process them the way you ought to process them. And doesn't ECOWAS have free movement?
It sure does.
It should have.
They are undocumented.
Yes, for them to.
No, but ECOWAS has free movement.
Yes, but
how can you have?
It's
No,
not
I'm sorry.
perpetual.
With due respect, with Ayo, how can you call them undocumented when ECOWAS have free?
But how do you
free
know
movement
they are
is for 3 months, and after a while you have to register your presence in the country.
So can we also process
it
them?
doesn't mean that. Yeah, of course. What we should ask is that have they been processed? So the fact that they were apprehended is a good move.
Because it's easy to blame South Africa.
No.
But
We cannot compare this to South Africa. South Africa is that
Nigerians in South Africa.
No. Let me just make a point. No. I need to make that point because it is very unfair to compare what has happened in Ogun State to what is happening in South Africa. South Africa's situation is xenophobia. And the fact that people, let me finish, that people are taking matters into their own hands. Was it the Ogun State people that apprehended these people? Was it not security operatives? Are they killing them in Ogun State? No, let's not say that.
But the way, but the way you also treat them.
So should we not tackle illegal migrants?
No. Oh, so you want to go there now?
Yes,
so why are we tackling illegal?
No. But we never advocated for illegal immigrants in South Africa. What we've often said is that regularize your paper, behave well in other countries. What we are fighting against is shops being burnt because you are not South African.
Yeah, that's a valid
saying that
argument.
you're taking our jobs. That's not happening in Ogun State. You cannot compare it to what.
But the way you treat them will also matter.
Absolutely, we can advocate for fair treatment, rule of law, but not to compare it to xenophobia in South Africa.
Undocumented people should go home, right?
No, they should be processed.
So all undocumented.
Well, all right.
Processed and treated according to the law.
All right. It's getting very. Can I moderate this panel? Can I? All right. I mean, this is a huge argument. We have, facts and figures, and that's what we should abide by. And reactions are pouring in after the United Kingdom Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, announced a sweeping ban on social media for anyone under 16, declaring social media is making our children unhappy and unsafe. Platforms including TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and X are all in the crosshairs, with the ban expected to take effect early next year. But the moment going viral, a BBC interview where a student was asked how she would fill her time without social media. She didn't hesitate. Let's watch.
What was your screen time over the weekend?
9 hours.
9 hours. So suddenly you're going to have a lot more time to fill. And what will you do?
Stare at a wall.
Stare at a wall. Okay.
All right. This ban has, sparked, a lot of conversations, obviously, among the young people. I told my daughter, I'm sending you to London. I'm sending you to London right now.
Thank you. So, Dr. Martin usually would ask the question, when would Nigeria consider this ban? People are asking that, what would the young people do? They should do what we did. They should read books. They should talk to their friends.
Yes,
they should not borrow their heads.
No, but they lived in different eras.
Yes,
I disagree with you.
You can disagree.
They lived in different eras.
When I said, Rosie said, you're millennial, of course I'm millennial, I'm an African mother. But I feel that social skills, but they've also said that it's been proven that social skills have been hampered because of young people's addiction to telephones.
Yes.
It's not an outright, when they grow older and able to manage the emotions of such responsibility, then by all means, but it should definitely be regulated and supported.
One quick sentence. So they've done the research to show that TikTok, for example, was developed after there were psychological studies done on how to keep somebody hooked for a long time. That quick pace, short attention span has actually impacted people psychologically. Now you have a whole generation that can't concentrate for longer than 60 seconds. That is such that is so dismal for where we're going as humanity. So I'm 100% behind this. No screens. Let's play with sand.
Let's read books. Let's read.
Talk to your friends.
Unfortunately,
I have a different opinion.
No, there's no time, Rufai. A sentence if you have to say quickly, then we go to our good
No.
report.
I'm for screens.
Yes.
I'm also for monitoring and guardians.
All right.
Because
Monitoring and guardians.
if you block them out, they will still find it one way or the other. So
all right. We'll see how the developments unfold. It's still a developing story. Well, now to a tragic story with shocking footage out of Brazil, where a 21-year-old woman died after 2 rope jumping instructors threw her from a bridge without harnessing her to security ropes. In the footage being shared online, the woman was seen being launched into a 40-meter abyss as onlookers shout for help. Now, viewer discretion is advised. Let's take a look.
Ai, meu Deus do céu!
This was horrifying. I watched this for 2 days, and every time I see it, my heart skips a beat. I mean, may her soul rest in peace. Amen. 3 men have been charged with homicide in this deeply tragic incident. And, you know, we will continue to follow up on the story. But, you know, like I say, these sort of adventures, you have to be careful. This is not her first time jumping, by the way. She's done this multiple times. A quick comment before I take our good news report.
Well, I mean, goodness, it's just the tragedy of it, isn't it? I used to be quite a thrill seeker. Then I had children. Now I'm like, oh, I've got people to look after. But you would have just assumed, you take it for granted that all the security precautions have been taken. May her soul rest in peace.
I know.
So
her parents, I feel so bad for her parents, really. Yeah. May her soul rest in peace. Be careful out there. Now to our good news report. And this one carries a beautiful legacy with it. Enugu-born artist Njideka Akunyili Crosby has made history, creating the first ever official joint portrait of former U.S. President Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, unveiled on Sunday at the Obama Presidential Center in Chicago. Akunyili Crosby is the daughter of the late Professor Dora Akunyili, Nigeria's celebrated former NAFDAC Director General, remembered for her fearless fight against counterfeit drugs. Njideka moved to Lagos at the age of 13, then moved to the United States at 16 after her mother won the U.S. Green Card Lottery. A painting class set her on the path to art, and she went on to earn an MFA from Yale University. In her signature photo transfer style, Akunyili Crosby created The Obamas, Springing Forth, a piece layered with personal history featuring Michelle Obama's childhood home, her father's Buick, the Martin Luther King Jr. bust from the Oval Office, and even Stevie Wonder's Talking Book album cover. When she met the Obamas, she revealed that she read their books and watched their interviews and podcasts, letting those memories guide her every decision. Let's take a look.
It's us.
And
it is
all
so of the stories within the story.
Your house was behind there?
Euclid. Oh my God, you got everything in there.
The real question is, how come you didn't dye my hair in the photo? Don't they usually touch it up a little bit?
I thought about it. So I did the drawing first of the two of you. We read all your books. We listened to all the interviews you all have done, podcasts and videos. My whole studio got to know you. I wanted to make these decisions that tapped into those memories. So when you saw this, it felt familiar.
It is beautiful. This woman to do something with and for me.
It was an honor.
I mean,
it was an honor.
We did it.
Oh my goodness, this is so huge. Now, the daughter of Dora Akunyili, now hanging on the walls of the Obama Presidential Center. That legacy of impact clearly runs in the family. Congratulations, Njideka. Nigeria is incredibly proud of you. The portrait opens to the public this Friday on June 18th. I mean, this is such an amazing feat, really. I know that, you know, she's been doing this for a while. Even when you heard Michelle Obama speaking there, she said she always wanted a painting from her. You mentioned Kehinde Wiley as well. Nigeria, like I always say, no, they carry last. I mean, we only have 30 seconds if we do. If not, I believe that's all I have for you guys today. On that note, I'd love to thank you all. Did you want to say something?
Nigerians do well.
Nigerians do well everywhere. Everywhere.
We just expect our government to do better.
Yes, that's all it is.
Right.
Well, on that note, I'd love to thank you all for your great analysis, as always, on What's Trending. Congratulations, Njideka, Akunyili, Crosby. Well, that's all I have for you guys on What's Trending today. Here we have Water No Get Enemy from Fela. Enjoy it, and I'll see you all tomorrow.
If you want go wash, now what are you go use? If you want cook soup, now what are you go use? Tori bang bono.